to Podcast Channel. Here is our host, Samuel Quran.
Scams, deception, and the let them theory. While those might sound like some unrelated topics, they actually relate quite well. Today on the English 102 Podcast Channel, we'll talk about the relationship between the let them theory and the modern day scams we must face online. Have you ever encountered an obviously fake text or account on a social media platform? If so, then you've been a target of an online scam, whether you realize it or not. What's frightening about these attempts is how real they're getting. So much as clicking on the wrong link or profile that looks real and trusted can land you in a lot of trouble. The easiest way to avoid these traps is to simply ignore them and report them to the platform. This is how this topic relates well with the let them theory. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is the let them theory? Popularized by author Mel Robbins, the concept is simple. Let people do what they want to do, and let situations be what they are. It's all about relinquishing control over external forces and saving your emotional energy for what you can actually change. But how does a mindset usually used for personal relationships and daily stress apply to the topic of digital scams and deception? Recently, I sent out a survey to my peers asking questions related to this topic. I asked things like, have you ever encountered a post, advertisement, or message on social media that you later discovered was a scam? How confident are you in your ability to distinguish a deepfake or AI-generated video from a real one? And more. To be honest, some of the responses were surprising. To speak more on this is today's guest, Brian Wilson. Brian is an avid social media user and would like to share some of his recent encounters online.
Thanks, Sam. Happy to be here. I feel this is a very important topic, especially in the golden age of technology.
I agree. I also think it's not talked about nearly enough. Although these scammers are getting more and more prone, it's important to know your way around them and to stay safe. Can you help explain to the listeners some of the techniques you've personally utilized to stay safe and away from scams online? Now, please take a moment to hear from our sponsors who help make this podcast possible.
Next time someone asks you if you want your burger with crispy onions or slivered ones, if you prefer 2 juicy quarter-pound patties or 3 slices of cheese, just say yes. The Big Arch, the most McDonald's burger yet. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
What kinds of things were these accounts sending? What kinds of things were these accounts sending? Hopefully so listeners can be made aware.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned before, the let them theory can be a very useful tool in the aspect of social media, along with many others. Scammers are getting more and more common and attacking more and more vulnerable people. One scenario I thought of is when my DMs on Instagram were flooded with people I didn't know. Many of these messages were seemingly real profiles who attempted to start a real conversation with me. Thankfully, I used my tactics. I was able to learn from the let them theory to avoid confrontation and let them stay as just useless spam text.
Right. It's all about removing the emotional connections that scammers depend on for your trust. Believe it or not, online predators and scammers actually utilize social engineering. They manufacture artificial urgency, high-stakes situations, or too good to be true excitement to hijack your brain. They want you to panic, click a link, transfer money immediately, or desperately defend yourself against a false accusation.
Many times, these accounts are portrayed as someone who you know, sometimes even a form of fraud. It's important to be able to recognize real from fake. Usually, fake accounts are obviously fake, and sometimes they can be really hard to identify. No matter who it is, then they usually share a common goal of attempting to get you to click on a link or photo.
These tactics are great, and I think they can be very helpful for our listeners, especially those who can be vulnerable targets for these scammers. Thank you, Brian, for taking the time to share these experiences with us and helping us learn how to be safer on the interweb. Thanks for listening.
Which they are typically able to access sensitive information even if you don't realize it. It's always best to simply ignore or let them be, even if it's just a little suspicious. Definitely, when you apply the let them theory, you stop trying to engage, argue, or fix the situation. A suspicious account messages you claiming you won a lottery. Let them. Let them exist in their corner of the internet while you completely disconnect because you realize what they really are. A phishing email claims your bank account is locked. Don't panic or try to fight the system. Let the notification sit there while you calmly log into your bank account portal to check. By adapting a let them theory mindset, you step back, pause, and strip the scammer of the psychological control they desperately are seeking.